It took me 40 years to learn this, but I'm gonna teach you in about 10 minutes. Here are 7 uncomfortable truths about life. If you guys are brand new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Being a child of immigrant parents has been a difficult journey, and I used to get mad about it. It's like it felt like I had no option to fail. But now I've realized it has made me stronger and wiser. I want to share some of the lessons that have helped me from going from survival mode to thriving mode. I will say the immigrant hustle definitely taught me grit, but grace was learned in therapy. And some of the lessons you're gonna hear today are straight from my therapist. And I wish somebody would have told me this sooner because it would have saved me probably decades of frustration. And now I'm passing it on to you guys so it doesn't take you guys 40 years to learn these uncomfortable truths. It's 40 years of trial and error condensed in hopefully 10 minutes or less. If you're ready for the biggest lessons of your life, keep watching. Uncomfortable truth number 1, if you care so much about what people think about you, it's gonna hold you back from living your most authentic self. When you only care about what people think about you, you become a false version of who you are. You literally become a person that you don't even like just so that other people will like you. And those other people will find something else they don't like about you. And I mean, let's keep it real. In our cultura, like our family's opinions matter. But what I've learned in my first gen journey has been I had to stop caring about what my parents thought, what my sisters thought. I mean, my parents thought I was a failure when I graduated from college and I didn't go to law school or business school. They thought I was a failure because I started a YouTube channel. And if I would have let that get to me, I would have never had the success that I have now in my life. And then when I became a trainer, my parents didn't like the way that I dressed. My shorts were too tight, they were too short. But that's what sold. That's what got me lots of clients, is not being vulgar or anything, but showing my body, showing the product. It was such a hard lesson to learn that the less that I cared about what people thought, the more authentic I became in life. The more I was following what my dreams were, what my, gifts were that God gave me. I mean, I remember the first time I told my parents I was starting a YouTube channel. My dad literally was like,
"Get out. Like, what are you doing?" Like,
he didn't even talk to me for weeks after that. He thought I was dreaming. I was, not living in reality. He's like,
"Get a real job." I mean,
it hurt because for the first time in my life, my dad didn't approve of what I was doing. And I mean, growing up, again, this was the hard lessons that I learned, but growing up, I mean, I played soccer for him. I went to college for him. There was all these things that I was doing just to make him proud. And don't get me wrong, I loved playing soccer and I'm so happy I went to college because, I mean, who doesn't want to go and party for another 4 years? But if I would have continued on the path to keep doing what he wanted me to do, I would have never started my YouTube channel. I would have never pursued my own business. I would have just been sitting there and caring what he thought. And then my sisters and friends, they also were like,
"What are you trying to do? Get famous on YouTube?"
Like, if I would have had all of that cloud my judgment, I would not be where I'm at today. This next uncomfortable truth is really uncomfortable, but you're gonna be 10 times happier when you learn to forgive your parents. Yeah. Let me say that again. Forgive your parents for your problems, okay? It's not their fault you have problems. You're a grown-ass woman now, okay? You could deal with your stuff now, right? You can go to therapy. You can get help. You cannot continue to blame your parents for the rest of your life because you know what? That only hurts you. It doesn't hurt them. And now looking back, I realized my parents did the best that they could. They came here from Mexico, raising American daughters, like they didn't get a manual to it. Okay, this is how you do it. Like, they didn't get a manual. They did the best that I could. And when I learned to forgive them in, yes, about a decade of therapy, I became so much happier. I became so much more loving and compassionate towards my parents. And now I'm so grateful for the way that they raised me. Now I believe that they raised me the way that I needed to be raised because I am who I am now because of them, because of the struggle, because of the challenges. And you don't necessarily have to have a whole sit down, heart to heart, like movie style intervention with your parents. You could just forgive them in silence. You could just change the story in your head, shift the perspective, and move on, sis. Uncomfortable truth number 3, the moment will never be right. Okay? If that's one thing I learned about pregnancy, I just kept saying, when I do this, I'll have a baby. When I accomplish this, it'll be the right time for a baby. I literally remember when I started working at LA Fitness after college, I was working there. Literally, they worked me like a dog, okay? Wouldn't give me a raise. And I knew it was time to leave. But I kept thinking, when the perfect time comes, I'll start my own business in fitness. I'll do it on my own. And I just kept waiting and waiting. And to be honest, if you wait for the right time, you will waste your life. Luckily, I got fired because I wanted a raise and they didn't want to give me a raise. And at that moment, I was forced to start my own business. And it taught me that there's never the right time. Should have listened to my intuition. I should have left way before I got fired. And the thing is, there is never a right time. Just like being pregnant at 41. Girl, I didn't think this was for the right time, but the universe or God doesn't wait for you. It's just like now is the right time. And you have to trust that higher up there that just knows that God knows impeccable timing. And that impeccable timing may not be your impeccable timing. So don't wait for the right time. If you have a big dream, if you have a goal, do it now. Take action now. And the reality is you're never going to feel 100% ready. I don't feel 100% ready having a baby at 41 now, okay? But I know that I can trust myself, even where there's doubts, even the fact that I don't feel ready. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but there's a saying that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. You just have to decide to act. Yeah, that's uncomfortable. And it's gonna feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable truth number 4. Whew. This one's gonna hurt. And this one was really hard because when I started to level up my life, I lost about 99% of my friends, even familia. Yeah. I lost cousins that just kind of didn't understand what I was doing. And people feel really uncomfortable when you start to level up, when you start to make riskier decisions and they're still doing the same shit. It's uncomfortable and they try to shrink you, and you can't be in rooms where people are shrinking you. You have to be in rooms that are going to help you level up. The people that helped me get to my first $100,000 a year are not going to be the same people that helped me get to the $1 million a year that I just made. And those people that helped me get to $1 million a year are not going to be the same people and friends that are going to help me get to 10 million, 100 million, which, yeah, girl, I have a goal of making 100 million in a year. Why not? Why not me? And the hard thing is being a Latina, you know, family comes first. Family's everything. But what about when your family's shrinking you? What about when your family is only creating more doubt and making you, you know, fear more and are planting stuff in your head that is not going to help you grow? Oprah said this one time and I was like, oh my God, this made so much sense, right? Oprah knows. She said, there's almost like a cover, right? There's almost a cover that you have to pay to get to the next level. And some friends and family are not willing to pay that. And the way that Oprah phrased it was, as you start to level up, there's less oxygen when you start to get higher. And not everybody can live with that less oxygen, with the more discomfort and the more risks. And so those people just kind of start to fall off. And that was hard. I was like Miss Popular in college. I was like Miss Popular in high school and in college. So for me to start losing friends and family, and it's hard. It's hard. And let me tell you the truth. This is the uncomfortable truth. When you start to level up, some people may just really not like you anymore. It's so hard to not be liked. But you know what? I do like the money I'm making now. I do like the new friendships, the more leveled up mindset people that I'm surrounding myself with. That's what I like now. And I mean, even when I tried to prioritize my mental health, like started to go to therapy, I didn't talk to my sisters for a couple years because they were like,
why are you sitting there saying that mom and dad raised us wrong and this was wrong?
And I was just telling them all the things that I was like learning, and they didn't like that. It was uncomfortable for them. And so I stopped talking to them for a couple years. Then fast forward later when they started to go into therapy and they're like,
oh shit, I know what you're talking about.
So, I mean, it's uncomfortable to let people go, but at the end of the day, sis, it's your journey. You are the one needing to grow and level up, and not everybody. We don't need to hold on to everybody, girl. Just let go. Let go of the people that don't need to be there. And guess what? New people will come. You'll make space for new and better people, and you will start to shift your frequency and your energy, and you'll start to attract that same frequency and energy. Right now, my frequency and energy is abundance. Anything is possible. There's limitless possibilities. And guess what? Now I'm attracting all of these beautiful women that are becoming like my sisters, and they're in the same frequency and mindset. And again, you become who your friends are. Okay, biggest lesson of all. Now, this next uncomfortable truth is probably going to make some people upset, but life is not about just finding a husband. I grew up with my mom telling me I needed to find a rich husband, not to become a rich husband, which I became, but to find a rich husband. And like, we've been watching Disney stories like Jasmine and Cinderella. I used to be obsessed with the movie Cinderella. And I thought life is just about finding your Prince Charming and him coming to save you. Like, how fucking toxic were Disney movies back in the day, okay? We didn't even see brown people in movies back in the day. At least now we have Coco, we have freaking Isabella or something like I have learned that life wasn't about finding a husband. Like, I literally learned that probably when I was about 30 years old, now 10 years ago, where I just like, I had been married, divorced 2 times by 30. Yeah, girl, you know. But I realized at that point, the most important thing was to literally fall in love with myself, learn who I am, know who I am. All those single years that I spent after being divorced twice, I built my business, my empire. And the reason I built my empire is because I distanced myself from my family. I went to therapy and I started to realize that life wasn't about finding a dude. Life was about, who the fuck am I? Like, make me my soulmate. Learn about me. Like, I was the most important thing. God created me to have this journey, and everybody else outside is just extra characters. I mean, I was literally being brainwashed to like have a kid by 30 and get married. I mean, I was literally brainwashed to have a kid, and I just chose to rebel against it. And I mean, I see people and I know people that got married and had a kid by 28, 29, because that's when they say you have to do it. They say your eggs are running, you know, they're running low. And they did it. They end up divorced a couple years later, and they end up so unfulfilled and so unhappy. They don't know who they are. They didn't build anything for themselves. They don't even know what their dreams and goals are because they don't know who they are. I mean, it's so sad and depressing. I mean, I remember watching friends go through extremes trying to go gringo hunting, which is alguien que te mantenga. Like, they were accepting some of the most toxic behavior because they just wanted to have that husband and have a kid. I mean, I know people that settled. Hearing them say, like, I settled because I'm getting older and I have to get married at like 28 years old. I'm like, girl. I mean, I sometimes was like, am I from another planet? Because I was like, I refuse to settle. I will never settle. If I'm 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, finding my soulmate, cool. Because guess what? In the meantime, I'm gonna be a chingona. I'm gonna build my business. I'm gonna love on myself. I mean, my single years, girl, I enjoyed my single years. Going out with beautiful men and taking myself on trips by myself. Who has taken a trip by themselves? Let me know in the comments. How many of you guys have dared to go on a vacation by yourself? I went to the Dominican Republic by myself, one of my first trips. I did end up getting married 3 days later to a Spaniard, beautiful Spaniard that I met out there. That's a whole nother story. But that was one of the many trips that I did take by myself. And I was feeling so vibrant, so sexy, so independent. That's what life's about. It's not about just finding a husband, girl. And if you think that, I told you this video was gonna make you uncomfortable. I warned you from the beginning. And if you're still watching, that's on you, girl. That means you really want to learn something. All right, the next uncomfortable truth, you guys, is something I learned from the book 4 Agreements by Javier something. Let me know if you guys know his name in the comments. Drop it in the comments. But you will become more mature when you stop taking shit personally. Like, oh, again, going back to people that used to insult me and shrink me when I was growing and leveling up, it used to hurt me, right? It did used to upset me, but I realized, like, man, they're in a place where they feel so stuck and they want you to be stuck, right? Misery loves company. And it started to give me compassion. Like, I started to feel like almost bad for these people. I'm like, damn, they're so unhappy. They want to bring me down too. And I started to shift my perspective into like, it's not about me. Why should I take this personal? Like, it's about them. If anything, pray for them, send them love. Stop taking shit personally, girl. Trust me, you will be happier. You will stress less. You will be less in your feelings, and your body will thank you for it. And the last uncomfortable truth, you guys, this one took me about, I want to say 10 years at least to learn this one. But if you're not where you want to be in life, avoid alcohol and weed at all costs, and your life will completely change. Now I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys, okay? I did smoke weed for a long time when I was in fitness, okay? I still built a business, which is crazy, but I didn't build it as fast as when I stopped smoking weed, as fast as when I stopped drinking. Drinking made me make bad decisions. Drinking kept me stuck. Drinking kept me in a low vibration with people with low vibration. I mean, people who drink and smoke pot, I'm just gonna say not all of them, but a lot of them, they don't have dreams, they don't have goals, they don't got motivation. Weed literally sucks the motivation out of you. Okay, and alcohol makes you super hungover that you literally waste a couple days after, especially after 30. Hangovers last like 2 or 3 days after 30. Okay, just FYI, if you're not at 30 yet, just wait, girl. And it just literally made all these things slow down. Like, I made YouTube videos for the first 7 years, and I was pretty much drinking and partying and smoking some weed, and girl, I hardly made any money those years. I was just kind of barely getting by. I was just like, okay, this is cool. It was like, I was like living life, and I was just like, this is good enough. When I stopped smoking, I was like, when I stopped drinking, I was like, oh my God. First of all, my skin, like, hello, no drinking alcohol. Your skin literally just like turns into like baby butt skin again. Okay. Because alcohol makes your skin swell up. It makes your stomach swell up. It throws off everything. But I mean, it just cleared my mind. The biggest thing is it cleared my mind. I was able to make more conscious choices. My business grew so much faster the 3 years after I stopped smoking and drinking than the first 7 years that I was building it. So if you're not where you want to be right now in life, girl, this one might be hard because a lot of you guys love to drink and smoke. Weed is very popular, especially here in California, and so is drinking. But that is the uncomfortable truth that I think is the most important. These uncomfortable truths cost me a lot of tears, a lot of years in therapy. But if one of these hard truths helps you skip some pain in your lifetime, then it was worth sharing. Let me know in the comments which one hit home for you. I know these were uncomfortable. I know you may even be a little bit triggered, maybe a little upset, like,
Gia, why did you have to say that?
but girl, I'm keeping it real. Esta mujer de 41 años, yes, this woman of 41 years old, she is wiser. Again, I repeat, being a first-gen Mexican American was difficult, and I am grateful for it now. I think that all of that made me the person that I am. I don't think you build grit and wisdom growing up in a rich Beverly Hills home. I feel like my upbringing was exactly what my soul needed. It was like the curriculum that my soul needed to grow. I am grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for the experience of my upbringing and being Latina and brown. I'm grateful for it all. I'm grateful for the challenges, and that, I think, is probably the biggest lesson to wrap it all up. Gratitude, girl. If you are stuck, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're uncomfortable in life right now, just know that you're not alone, and your best life is still waiting for you, okay? You just have to make different choices. And take the first step, girl. My first step was therapy. And I'm just gonna leave it there. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.